Hi viewers and welcome to my tutorial for today. I sincerely appreciate you guys for watching my videos. And please, if you are yet to subscribe, just touch on the red icon to subscribe and also touch on the notification bell to be the first to be notified whenever I upload a new video. So today we shall be looking at cutting and sewing of a gorgeous short flake gown with inverted pleat. So here I'm using 3 yards of Ankara fabric. First of all, we are cutting the down part. So for the down part, I just need only the length and the waist measurement. So the waist we are working with is 38 inches divided by 4 to give us 9.5. So from here, like this, I'll measure out my 9.5 inches. Then I'll measure 4 inches for the pleat. Then 1.5 inches for my allowance. So from here, measure the length of my down part, which is 23 inches plus 2 inches seam allowance. Sorry, for 2 inches for folding, so which is 25 inches. So I'll measure, I'll connect this one. So I'll measure 25 inches round. So like this, now I'll just cut it out. So this is what we have. So I'll use this one to cut the back part, but remember that here, because the back won't be having the pleat, so I'll just mark my waist measurement, which is 9.5 plus the 1.5 inches that I measured, that I removed for the seam allowance. So I will just notch that part. Folded the excess is here, so now I'll just use it like this now to cut out the back. So this is it. I'll just leave like 1.5 inch here for my zip allowance. Just leave like 1.5 here. So I'll just cut it out. Then I use it to cut the remaining one. So this one part of the back, so I'll place it again here. So I'll place it this way, back to back. I'll just so now this is the second back. So I'll just use my lining to cut out the lining for the back and the front. Okay, now first of all, cut out the back of my top. And the measurement and the what I'm using in cutting it out is a princess bustier method. So here I'll fold my fabric into two. Then I'll leave 1.5 inches here for my zipper allowance. So I'll start my measurement from here. And the length I'm using is 17 inches. But I want this upper part I want this dress to have a joining. So I will use, instead of using 17, I will use 15. Then use the 2 inches remaining for my band. So here I'll measure at 16 inches. 15 inches then plus 1 inch for my joining. So I have 16 inches here. Then from my shoulder to nipple is 12 inches. So I'll add half an inch for the joining. Then I go up by 3 inches and I come down by 3 inches. So the shoulder I'm working with is 16 inches. Divide by 2 will give us 8. Then I'll mark my 3 inches for shoulder slope. From this shoulder, I'll measure out 3 inches plus 1 inch for shoulder slope. I'll minus that one from here. Then my nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inches. Then I'll use 1/4 inches for my joining. So if you're using half, you will take 4.5. But if you're using 1/4 inch, you use 4.25 inch. So from here, I'll take my 4.25. That is 4.25. Then I'll come here and mark the 4.25 again. I'll also mark it here. So I'll just connect the lines from here. I'll just connect my line straight. So from this 4 here, I'll just curve it to join these 4.25 inches. This way. So from here, I'll then take my armhole measurement from this 1 inch here. My measurement is 9 inches, which is 18 divided by 2 to give us 9. So I'll mark my 9 here. So from here, I'll take my bust measurement. And the bust I'm working with is 41. Divide by 4 to give us 10.25. Then I add 1.5 inch for my ease. Then I come down here and take my waist measurement, which is 38. Divide by 4 to give us 9.5. So I mark my 9.5. So here I'll take 2 inches for my ease here. So I'll just join it this way. Let me take it again. I measure my shoulder measurement. From there I come down by 3 inches. I added 1 inch for my shoulder slope, making it 4 inches. So from here again I measure out my 4.25 inch from that is nipple to nipple measurement. I'll then take that nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4.25 here. I'll take it to the nipple one. I'll take it to the down one. So from there I will just connect it this way. I'll connect the 4.25 inches straight. Then make a straight curve to meet this one. So from this point, from this one now, I measured another inches. I measure my armhole measurement, sorry, which is 9 inches, 18 inches, sorry, divided by 4, divided by 2 to give us 9 inches. I measure out the 9 inches here. So on that place, I measure out my bust measurement, which is 41 divided by 4 to give us 4.25. Then I add my 1.5 inch for allowance, and I measure out my waist measurement here, which is 38 divided by 4 to give us 9.5. And I add 2 inches for the down. So I now connect the lines together, and from here now, from this place, from this point, I'll have something like this for my armhole. I'll just cut it out. So here is where my zip will be sitting, and this is for the both side. So I'll just keep this aside and cut out my front one. Okay, for the front, I'll start my measurement from this point. My shoulder measurement is 16 divided by 2 will give us 8. I'll mark 8 inches here. Then for my shoulder slope, 1 inch. And I'll come down by 3 inches here. Then from this shoulder to my nipple measurement is 12 inches, and I added half, making it 12.5. Then I come up by 3 and I go down by 3 inches. That is my under bust. So here I'll mark my nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inches. Divide by 2 to give me 4. Then I'll add 1/4 inch because that is what I'll use in joining. So I'll add 1/4 inch, making it 4.25. Now I'll mark my 4.25 here again. So I'll just connect the lines. So from here, we'll just join to this line. Now cut. So here I will just notch out these 3 lines. So here I will just place this center one. I'll fold my fabric into 2, then place this center one. Then here I'll just trace out the notchings. Now mark out this line here. Then from here I'll take my armhole measurement, which is 9 inches. Then I'll start here, measure my bust measurement. And the bust I'm working with is 41 divided by 4 to give me 10.25. And I'll add 1.5 inch for my seam allowance. Then down here I'll take my waist measurement. The waist I'm working with is 38 divided by 4 to give me 9.5. 9.5. Then here I will add 2 inches for my seam allowance. I'll now take this one out. So at the center, on the center one, I'll measure 2.5 inches back this way. I'll measure 2.5 inches here. So from here now, from here, I'll connect it this way. Then I'll connect this one. Then I'll connect it again, the last line, this way. I'll just cut it. So I'll have something like this. So I'll just cut out the wooding that I'll use in padding the front. Then I'll also cut out the lining for all my fabric. Okay, now I've cut out my linings for the fabric. So I'll quickly go to my machine and line them up, and also cut out my wooding for the front part. So I'll just use my iron and gum them together, then join it up. Now I've carefully lined up my fabric, and I've also joined the linings for the front, for the upper part. Sorry, this is the front part, and this is for the back. As you can see, I joined them separately, and that is how I'll be using it to turn the back parts. I've also joined this back part, so I'll just turn each of them separately. And for the front parts, I've gone my fabric to the wooden. In my previous class where I taught how to cut and sew a princess bustier, I got some messages where some of my subscribers complained about joining it. Some said they start from the upper part here like this and they ended up not getting it right. So for their sake, we'll be going to the machine to do the joinings together. But first of all, I would like to cut out the neck before doing the joining. Okay, for the front part, I'll just fold it again into two. Then for the neck volume, I'm using 4 inches. And for the neck depth, I'm using 5 inches. So I'll place it to the back part. You can do this thing that I'm doing now immediately when you are cutting it. You can also do it after joining the bodies. So for the back, I'm using 2 inches for the neck depth. I'll just connect it. So this is it. So proceed to the machine to join the front part. Okay, now first of all, you make sure that these two, see, this one, when you are sewing, you make sure you take that quarter an inch. If it's quarter an inch you are using, if it's half, you make sure you take all the half. You make sure that the pin is still on the fabric, then you raise it up and adjust this way. The part that bulged out, you just adjust it to touch the center one so that the two of them will be equal. Then you pull it down again and sew. So as you are sewing, you are adjusting. When you reach at the point that the two fabric no more joining each other, you raise it up again, then adjust it. So this is what you continue doing until you reach the end part. So as you are sewing, even if the side one, you can see here, this one is still excess, is still remaining, but no problem. You just trim it out later. So this is it. So this is what we have. And then you just push it out. You can see it's very simple. So we do the same thing to the other side. You take this one again. Then you join it. Join it. So this time around, the side parts will be down, and this one will be at the top. So you sew, as you're sewing, you are adjusting. Like this now. You just take this up, then you adjust it. Make sure that these two joined together. Then you pull it down and you sew. So this for the second one, you just pull it out. So this is what we have. As you can see, it's very, very easy. To join it. The right face to the right face of the dress. This way. This way. I'll then sew it up. Well, first of all, line this part, the neckline, then I'll top stitch it, then I'll line the sides. Okay, now I've sewed up the neckline. I'll just notch it. I'll turn it up this way from this side. like this. I will shift this excess here. I'll move it over to the lining side this way. Then from the front part, you sew. But as you are sewing, you make sure that the allowance inside is at the lining side. So this is it. So the top stitch will help the lining to go inside very well. So I'll just go ahead and turn it back again, and I'll just sew up here and sew up this part and this part, and then now turn it out. Okay, now I've finished joining the front part, and I've also lined it up. And I've done that to the back also. So now I'll use my band. I cut out 2.5 inches when folded, but one unfold is 5 inches. So I'll just use it this way and attach it to the back part this way. So I'll just stitch it, then turn it like this. Then I'll add one part of my back, but when you are adding the back, you should be very careful and make sure you check well, so that you will not add the hip side to the zip side. So you be very careful, so that you when you're adding it, you will join the zip part to the zip part. For the front, is having a pleat on the front part and at the center of the front part. So I'll just fold this down part into 2 equal parts. Then I'll notch the center this way. So I'll measure again. Remember, our waist measurement is 38 divided by 4 to give us 9.5. So I'll measure that 9.5 again, starting from this end this way. I'll measure 9.5, which is here, then plus my 1.5 inch for allowance. So after marking it this way, now I will check the remaining one that is here. So the remaining one that I have left is 3 inches. So I'll be folding this, I'll be doing my print with that 3 inches. Sorry, I'll first of all mark the 3 inches on the middle part here. From here, I'll measure out my 3 inches. And I'll mark it at the back also. If you like, you can notch it. I'll then open it up. I'll pleat this way. Let the notch here meet the center notch this way. Then I'll take this one also and let the notch meet to the center notch. So by the end of the day, I will have something like this. I'll have something like this. So I'll go to my machine and stitch it up from here to here so that it will be firm. Then I'll now join it to the upper part. Okay, now I've joined the back. I've also inserted my zip. I also see the band. So for the front, this is it. This is what it looks like. So I'll just quickly use my body measurements to join the two bodies together, the back and the front. So what I need now is just my bust measurement and my waist measurement. So I'll just use my bust and waist measurement to close it up here. Then I'll just sew it straight because hip measurement is not needed. So I'll just use my bust measurement and my waist measurement to close up here. Then I'll sew straight down. Now I've also cut out the short sleeve. I just want it to be very short, just 5 inch. Just use my lining to line it up, then close the shoulder, close here, then add my sleeve. Okay, this is the end of our work. As you can see, even the pleat comes out very beautiful. I can also use my tummy belts. So thank you for watching till the end. Till we meet in my next class. And don't forget to subscribe. Love you all. Bye.